70 games, 30 teams, 4 days in the desert. But when the lights are going to be the brightest, it's the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. The eyes of the nation are locking in right here at Fenway Field as the number 13 Texas A&M Aggies get set to take on the 14th ranked Duke Blue Devils. Huge top 15 matchup as we begin the night session here in day number 1 of the Big League Dreams Complex. Good evening, everybody. I am Chris Hooks here as these two teams just met 6 days ago as the Aggies looking for a bit of revenge, and we're going to have it all for you right here on FloCollege. Certainly glad to have you as Marissa Young and Tricia Ford get set to take on one another as, again, a little bit of a chill and a little rain has been around the area here just a bit as we're getting set for the first pitch between these two. And again, these two teams met back about 6 days ago with, again, Duke winning that ball game by the score of 8-4. And in that contest, it was a 3-run bomb by Tyrena Jones in the 5th inning that pretty much put Duke up ahead for good, and Texas A&M would end up scoring 2 more runs late, but it was not enough. And so, again, Texas A&M entering this affair at 7-4 on the year. Duke 8-3. Texas A&M coming off a tough 2-1 loss to Oregon earlier today as the Aggies lost 2-1 to the 18th ranked Ducks. Basically, it came down to a RBI ground out in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Texas A&M held to just 5 hits. While Duke is making their debut on the weekend, they'll play here tonight in Game 1 against Texas A&M, and then they'll take on Hawaii following this one. As, again, Texas A&M and Duke just about to get set for this one. Again, Texas A&M will be the visiting team for this one. We'll go ahead and get into their batting lineup while we got a moment. Kennedy Powell will lead off and play third base. Ariel Kowalewski in right field. Maya Perez batting third as a designated player, certainly a player to look out for. Talon Edwards, the second baseman, will bat fourth. Michaela Work, a newcomer on this team that's led the charge here to start the year. She will bat fifth. KK DeMint, the shortstop, batting sixth. Maddie Sawney is the catcher, batting 7th. Paisley Allen, the left fielder, batting 8th. And Frankie Vrazel is the center fielder, batting in the 9th slot. And they will face Cassidy Curd, who will toe the rubber here in the first game for the Blue Devils here today. Is Curd, one of the veterans on this team, a senior from Queen Creek, Arizona, has thrown 23 1/3 innings. She's 4-0 this year, as she will look to keep her record intact, as Cassidy has had quite a career at Duke. In fact, on Tuesday against Elon, she got her 50th career win to be 50-15 in her career. She's thrown 425 innings in her 4 years at Duke with 489 career strikeouts. So Curd certainly a player to watch here in this one. She'll face a very good lineup in Texas A&M, who, again, pitching-wise was third nationally, but hitting-wise came into the weekend batting 14th in the country with a team batting average of .381. They're also in the top 20 with 16 home runs. They face 3 top 25 teams, including these same Blue Devils, as we get set for the first pitch. Again, we're just awaiting for both teams to get out on the field. Again, they're talking things over, as it looks like the meeting in home plate has certainly been taken care of, and hopefully we'll have this contest get underway in just a second. Again, these two teams met back 6 days ago, as, again, Texas A&M and Duke met back in the Clearwater, Florida matchup. Invitational, and again was 8-6 winner for the Blue Devils. And in that contest, again, Tyrena Jones went 1 for 4 on the day, ended up with a 3-run bomb, and that capped off a 4-run 5th inning that made it 8-4. In fact, it was tied at 4 after 3 innings, and then after a stalemate in the 4th, runs were scored by the Blue Devils in the 5th, and then 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th was not enough to get the Aggies back in it. They trailed by 2, and that will be the final score in this one as you see Cassidy Curd getting warmed up on kind of a chilly night here in Cathedral City. 52 degrees. A little bit of a wind. There's a little wind advisory that's in effect until 9 a.m. here in Pacific Coast time as she continues to get warmed up here in this one. So, again, we're certainly glad you could join us. I am Chris Hooks flying solo here tonight. As Curd is ready to go, she has gotten her warm-ups in. Kyrie Rodriguez is her battery mate. Jada Baker is over at third here tonight. Tyrena Jones will be at shortstop. Amina Vega is the second baseman, and Jayla Stafford is at first base for the Blue Devils. Jessica Oakland at left. Deanna Jennings is in center, and Layla Lamar is in right as Texas A&M in the dark maroon uniforms steps in. Leadoff batter Kennedy Powell will lead things off for Texas A&M as first pitch is thrown at 5:40 here in the Coachella Valley. It's a strike on Kennedy Powell, a leadoff hitter, the transfer from UCLA. One of the few players on this team with a hit in every game coming into the tournament. And the 0-1 pitch slapped, and that is caught down the left side by Jessica Oakland for out number 1. So 1 down, and Ariel Kowalewski will come to the plate, the right fielder. Kowalewski came into the weekend batting .375 on the year, 2 home runs and 3 doubles to her credit as Curd misses on the inner half of the plate for ball 1. So 1 down here in the top of the first. Duke and Texas A&M in a top 15 matchup here on FloCollege. There's the offering by Curd. That one fouled out of play. 1-1 the count. Again, Texas A&M lost earlier today, 2-1 to 18th ranked Oregon, and Lindsey Grind earned the victory. And the save was Elise Sokolski for the Ducks. Kate Munnerlin took the loss to go to 1-3 on the year. And the rise ball in there for a called strike. Home plate umpire here tonight is Rick Cowan. Scott Mayer is down the first base line and Bill Plant down the third base line. Your umpiring crew here in the second to last game of the night here at Fenway Field. Here's the 1-2. Just a little low and in, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Kowalewski is the Richmond, Texas product, transferred from Florida. Looking to get this offense started for Texas A&M. Kowalewski against Duke the last time these two teams met. Went 1 for 4 with a run and 2 RBIs. She'll lift that one in the air. That one's high. That is deep, and that is gone as Kowalewski hits the home run. And Texas A&M strikes first here in this one as they lead at 1-0 on the solo shot by Kowalewski. As Kowalewski, her 3rd home run of the year. And that was just a straight golf shot out of here, and it's 1-0. So Kowalewski hits the bomb. And so 1-0 to tally with 1 down as Maya Perez, preseason All-SEC member, batting from the left side, entered play this weekend at 5-16 on the season. 16 of 31 entering play today. 3 home runs, 2 doubles, and 13 RBIs. She's now hitting .486. We'll take a look at her day against Oregon. A little low and in from Curd. 2 balls and no strikes. It was low there, 3-0 to Perez. As Curd missing a little bit low here. So Perez went 1 for 4 in the contest against Oregon earlier today. Again, only 5 hits by Texas A&M. They played it a run in the 4th. They left 8 runners stranded in that loss. And you know they're going to come here with some vengeance to try to end the day on a high note against a team that already beat them earlier this year. It was a close ball game, and we'll see if they can keep it going here. 3-1 now to count as Curd drills one in there for a strike. Perez, superstar out of Corona, California, played with the Mexican national team last summer, and deservedly so, having a fantastic start of the year here. Here's a chopper right up the middle. That'll get through for a base hit. Ty Jones can't get to it. And so 2 hits already for Texas A&M, and 8 in the loss to Duke back on the 13th. And it was raining a good bit here just a little bit ago, as Cassidy Curd just allowed her 16th hit of the year. Entered today in 23 1/3 innings. 9 runs, they were all earned. 20 strikeouts, 17 walks. Misses that one inside to Talon Edwards. Edwards, the Oklahoma State transfer, came in this weekend hitting .385 on the year. Average dropped to .357. And the loss to Oregon State. Here's the 2-0. And that's where the count stands right now to Edwards. As Curd will fire this one in there. That one knocked foul. Certainly glad he could join us here on FloCollege's exclusive coverage of the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. Over 70 games we're going to be covering for you here this weekend. Not me. Not me by myself. That would be almost impossible. As the 2-1 pitch from Curd is in there, a little high and away. And they're going to call that 3 balls and a strike. As Curd in a little trouble here to start off this ball game as Michaela Wark is due up next. Another hot-hitting Aggie as the count runs full after that foul off. Michaela Wark, one of the newcomers, transfer from Oklahoma State as well. As the 6 newcomers, 3 transfers and 3 freshmen coming into this whole affair, had accounted for close to 47% of the run production for Texas A&M to start the year. 3-2 pitch fouled out of play. And the battle continues between Curd and Edwards. Perez with the single sits on first base. Again, both these teams certainly trying to find their way to having a great start to the year. Playing some tough competition as that is drilled foul. As Curd coming into the contest with an ERA now at 2.7 on the year. As they'll get a fresh softball. You can see the fans in front of me. And in your view, long sleeve shirts and hoodies, deservedly so. It's kind of chilly here. Here's the 3-2. That one fouled out again down the first base line. As the battle continues. If we look at Edwards earlier today, Edwards went 0 for 2 against Oregon. Looking for her first hit of the day here in the Mary Nutter Classic as the payoff pitch comes. And the payoff pitch is fouled off. As Kurt has already thrown 12 pitches in this one. Again, this year, runners on. With runners on, opposing hitters are batting 128 against Kurt. To see if she can close the door here. Payoff pitch. Fouled out of play again. Feel like a broken record. Full count. Curd will deliver the payoff. Crush down the right side. That's going to go all the way to the corner. They're going to send a runner over to third, and that'll be a stand-up double for Taylon Edwards. And the Aggies are off and running in this one, with runners at second and third and just one out, and Michaela Wark down to the plate, who has 6 home runs to start the year, and they have certainly got a beat. On that 10-pitch at bat, gives her 23 pitches now on the night. And the coaching staff for Duke trying to talk things over with Cassidy Curd as trouble is brewing for the Blue Devils here early. Duke is down 1-0, but runners are threatening now at second and third base. And one of the top hitters on the team now to the plate. So here comes Michaela Wark to the plate. Wark again entering play today. 394, 6 home runs. And the first pitch was a little inside as Wark now batting .400 on the year as the count's 1-0. Against Oregon earlier today, Wark went 1 for 2. A little low there, 2-0 now the count to Michaela Wark. Wark out of Frisco, Texas. That's Texas A&M playing in their 9th Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. 28-10 entering play this weekend. And the count's 2-1, and the home faithful, at least the faithful for Texas A&M, don't necessarily agree with that. As the count's 2 balls and a strike is Curd, a little bit of a pickle here early on. And welcome into the broadcast here at Fenway. Chopper right up the middle, off the glove. Could be a close play at first, and it will be 1 out recorded. Good job there by Amina Vega, but the RBI ground out will make it 2-0 as Perez does score. Edwards moves over to third base. So Wark gets the RBI to make it 2-0. As Wark now with 15 RBIs on the year. See if it actually did hit her glove. And being Curd is KK DeMint, the shortstop, takes the first pitch for a strike. So they're going to say it did hit off her glove, so it'll be a 1-4-3 put out. That'll give Wark 15 RBIs on the year. Edwards at third and 2 down. A little high there to KK DeMint as the count's now even in the ball on a strike. DeMint, .313 hitter. As DeMint out of Selma, California. Sophomore. Moved to shortstop, hit .417 in the opening weekend. Last year was a D1 softball, freshman All-American. And she's got a 2-1 count to work with here and a runner on third. If they can plate that, be a great start, but a good offering there by Curd. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cassidy Curd trying to get out of this one. with just 2 runs allowed. Here's the 2-2. Chopper foul, as they've really had a beat on her early on. There was 6 foul balls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 foul balls by Edwards, in which she turned a double down the right field line. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Curd trying to limit the damage here with a runner on third. Texas A&M threatening. High for ball 3 is a full count. Will away. Duke led 2-0 going into the bottom of the second inning last time these two teams met. And that one's ripped. That's going to be in for a base hit. That'll score a run. Good 2-out hitting there. Will be a single for KK DeMint. And that'll be another base rip by Texas A&M. And they are really putting it on here. 4th hit of the frame. And they lead it 3-0. So the RBI single by DeMint. Gives her 8 on the year. And that's 3 runs on those 4 hits. As Duke trying to get out of this one, the runner on first. There's Maddie Sawney at the plate. Sawney, a .304 hitter, playing in just 8 of the 11 games previously. Was 7 of 23. She's playing catcher here this evening. Swing. Goes over to Jayla Stafford over at first. That'll be a 3 unassisted, but the damage has been done. 3 runs, all earned on 4 hits and a runner left on. Texas A&M leads Duke 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the first inning. This is the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic on FloCollege. Collegiate Classic. Chris Hooks flying solo here in this one is top 15 matchup between the Duke Blue Devils and Texas A&M. Sydney Peters towing the rubber for Tricia Ford's troops. And her first pitch is in there for a called strikes on Deanna Jennings, the center fielder. Amina Vega, all-world second baseman, batting second. As Tarina Jones is batting third at shortstop. Jessica Oakland is batting fourth. She is playing in left field here tonight. In right field, Layla Lamar Kyrie Rodriguez is batting 6th. KK Mathis, the designated player, batting 7th. Jayla Stafford at first base batting 8th. And Jada Baker, as the count is 1-1, will bat 9th. And the count's 2-1 now to Deanna Jennings. It'll be Michaela Wark over at first. Talon Edwards over at second. KK DeMint at short. And Kennedy Powell over at third. Paisley Allen in left. Frankie Vrazel in center. And Ariel Kowalewski in right as the 2-1 pitch slap foul by Jennings. As Jennings entered play today, batting .514, went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored in the last meeting against Texas A&M. As head coach Marissa Young in her 9th season has really done a tremendous job as the count is full at 3-2 to Jennings, the Houston, Texas product. Leading things off for the Blue Devils. As Young has already given them an ACC title. Made it to the College World Series. Here's a chopper over to the shortstop. Powell and DeMint not able to come away with it. DeMint bounces off for glove. And we'll see what they score that. They certainly could call that an E6, and we'll see if they do so. They're going to say it's an infield single, and so she will get the hit. It was a tough play either way. And so the leadoff batter, Jennings, gets on. Here's Amina Vega now to the plate. Vega, .529 hitter, got her 50th career double in Duke's win against Elon earlier this week as the pitch is, that's going to miss. Then the throw down to second on the stolen base attempt gets past. And Jennings finds her way all the way over to third base on the stolen base, and then the error by Texas A&M. So Jennings gets the stolen base. That'll be her 3rd of the year. And then the error, see who they call the error on. It could certainly be on the throw, as it did bounce, but it certainly was stoppable by the fielder trying to come up with it. Count is 1-0. Vega watches that one in there for a called strike. As the count will even up, as Duke threatening both these teams going back and forth already. Texas A&M 3 runs in the top half of the first. See if Duke can answer here. 1-1, Vega with a runner on at third. Vega tried to swing for the fences there, swinging and missing, 1-2. So Vega, 2 home runs, 14 RBIs, has those 4 doubles. Batting .529 now on the year. Got her. That'll be the first strikeout of the day. As Sydney Peters gets her first strikeout. That'll be her 75th career strikeout. One down here in the frame. Tarina Jones checks her swing. As Jones .01. 0-2. As Sydney Peters blows that right by her. So they did not give her a stolen base, but they called it an error on the catcher. So no stolen base, just say she advanced to third, or advanced to second, and either way, 0-2. And wow, back-to-back backwards Ks by Sydney Peters has shut down Duke with 2 down now. 76 strikeouts for her. As Peters gets the strikeout, 2 down, just like that, as Peters entered play today, 3-0, with a 1.59 ERA and 22 innings pitched. And she had thrown 3 straight strikes as Jessica Oakland, the left fielder, comes to the plate with a runner on at third and 2 outs. So both strikeouts in this inning have been by the looking variety, as Oakland batting .400 on the year. Takes a look inside there. That one's nothing doing. Oakland went 1 for 3 with an RBI in that 8-6 win back in Clearwater, Florida on the 13th of February. Texas A&M trying to exact some revenge here as that one rises up. Now 3 balls and no strikes to Oakland. Oakland out of San Jose, California, transferred from Minnesota. As Layla Lamar is due up next, the sophomore. And that's in there for called strike number 1. Three-one, swing and a miss, strike 2. And Sidney Peters has really gotten going here. As Texas A&M, after allowing a leadoff single, looking to shut the door here on a payoff pitch. That one lifted in the air. That'll hit the gap in right center field. It got past the center fielder, Vrazel. That'll be an RBI single up the middle by Oakland, and Duke is on the board as the tally is now 3-1. Good job there by Oakland with a payoff pitch as Oakland gets the RBI. So here's Layla Lamar as Oakland just recorded the RBI. That was her 8th RBI of the year. Is Layla Lamar, the daughter of the head coach, Marissa Young, who transferred from Florida, where she played in 16 games. Was ranked as the number 4 player out of the 2024 class at Panther Creek High School. As Layla ahead in this count at 2-0 as the right fielder looking to keep this 2-out rally going. Went 2 for 3 with a run and 2 RBIs in that win against Texas A&M the last time these two teams met. Her sister, Jelena, plays for UCLA. I was actually fortunate enough to call her contest, a couple of them, a couple weeks ago, out when I was in Irvine, California. 2-0 the count, 3-1 the score. Duke trying to rally here with 2 down. As that one's inside, 3-0 now to Lamar as Kyrie Rodriguez is due up next. The Florida product. Great catcher for Marissa Young's squad. As Lamar, the right fielder, 3-0. That'll be ball 4. So runners now at first and second. 2 outs for Kyrie Rodriguez. As Rodriguez a 207 hitter this year. 6 hits and 29 at bats with a home run and 4 RBIs. A big hit here would be one if she can put one in play, but she watches the first pitch on the outer half of the plate for strike 1 from Peters. Rodriguez, a 286 hitter with 2 outs this year. 0-1, 2 on. Lifts that foul, 0-2 the count, and this is where Peters has done a tremendous job thus far with 2 strikeouts, looking as the only outs of this frame. Already crucial situations between these two. It was the case last time these two teams met. Here's the 0-2, high and in. 1-2 now the count. One and two, Peters will deliver. That one lifted in the air. That's going to be a can of corn, easily caught by Vrazel, and the damage has been limited at best. 1 run on 2 hits, no error, 1 error, and a runner left on as we are through 1 complete inning here in the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic on day 1. This is game number 4 at this field today. And we'll be back after this as it's 3-1 Texas A&M heading to the 2nd inning. DeMarini has new and unreleased bats now available. Check them out at your nearest dealer. Speaking of dealing, this one certainly has dealt a heck of a contest early on. Texas A&M and Duke, whereas we move to the 2nd inning, it'll be 8-9-1 due up for the Aggies, led by Tricia Ford, the head coach. 16th season as a head coach, 4th at Texas A&M, was the SEC co-champs last year, going 48-11. She's trying to get this Texas A&M program back to the top where they've been quite a bit with 3 national titles, most in the 80s. But here comes Paisley Allen as Curd sails that one high as runner away in the 2nd. 1-0 the count. Chris Hooks here, flying solo here in this one as Duke and Texas A&M. Next game here on this field will be Rutgers and Fullerton. Should be a fun one as Cal State Fullerton, a super talented squad. That's where Tricia Ford used to coach. As the count's 2-0 to Paisley Allen, the Houston, Texas product. 2-0. That's in there for a called strike. That was certainly deep in the heart of Texas. And Allen's numbers this year, 231, playing in starting of the 7 of the 9 games she's played. The 2-2 count. And here comes the 2-2 offering from Curd. That one ripped foul and out of play. And this is a young lady prior to Texas A&M, was at the U8 national team in the United States. And she will go down looking on that one as Curd gets the strikeout, her first of the night. Just perfection on that outer half of the plate to the batter. As Curd will record yet another strikeout in her storied career at Duke. Getting close to the 500 mark there. There's a bunt fouled off the backstop. As Curd with that strikeout just recorded 490 on the strikeout numbers in her career. And she is facing Frankie Vrazel, who is even in the count at a ball and a strike after that one just missed. Vrazel out of Danbury, Texas, hitting 300 entering the week. RBI and 2 stolen bases this year, hitting from that left side as you can see on your screen. Chopper over to Baker, and that's going to get over to the shortstop. And that's not going to be in time. As it went over to the shortstop between Baker and Jones came up with it, but that'll be an infield hit for Vrazel, and the 1-out single will flip it up to the top of the order to Kennedy Powell, who flew out to left fielder first time up. And Powell, certainly a heck of a career thus far at Texas A&M. Grounder right to Curd. She'll spin, throw it to second. Jones will hit the easy out. So the 1-6 put out for the second out as Powell will be given the base on the fielder's choice. Good play there by Curd. Put a little bit high. As Jones had to jump for it. Time is called for just a second as Ariel Kowaleski will make her way to the plate. Kowalewski had to sit out the 2025 season because of the mid-year transfer rules coming from Florida. And she actually hit her first Aggie home run against Duke. And she just hit her third of the year in the first inning. Can she make it her fourth? As that one misses. 2-0 to Kowalewski. As a freshman at Florida, 56 games at third base, hit .308, 8 home runs, 33 RBIs from Richmond, Texas. And she tried to swing and hit that one back to Texas, swinging and missing there, and the count's 2-1. But again, beautiful swing by Kowalewski as they're trying to add to this 3-1 lead with 2 outs. That one just on the outer half of the plate, called a strike by home plate umpire Rick Cowan. Couldn't tell if people here disagreed, but either way, it is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Curd trying to get out of this one unscathed. Curd will fire. That one fouled off the foot of Kowalewski rather. But if Curd and the Blue Devils can get out of this one unharmed, it'll be a shutdown inning against a very potent offense that came into this weekend 14th in the country in batting average. Here's the 2-2. That one lifted in the air as Ty Jones calls everyone off, and she'll make the catch, and the damage is averted. No runs, 1 hit, and a runner left on. We go to the bottom of the second. Texas A&M 3, Duke 1. This is the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic on FloCollege. So again, welcome back. I want to remind you that DeMarini has new and unreleased bats that are now available. Make sure you check them out at your nearest dealer. So glad to have you here on today's broadcast. Chris Hooks as Duke and Texas A&M battling. As both these teams ranked in the top 20, top 15 in a lot of different polls. You're seeing why. Both these teams are super, super talented. As the Blue Devils will bring up 7, 8, and 9 in this SEC-ACC matchup. KK Mathis, the designated player, Jayla Stafford and Jada Baker due up for Texas A&M. Mathis thought about going after that one, but does not. And counts 1-0. Here's Peters. Pretty sharp thus far. That's in there, called strike. 1-1. Mathis, 1 for 11 this year as the designated player. Only struck out twice, though, and walked once. There's a chopper right up the middle. That'll get through for a base hit. That's a big way to start the inning. Just her second base knock of the year, and you can hear the Duke bench, the Duke dugout exploding. Happy to see her get on the base path as KK Mathis leads off the frame with the knock as the senior out of Parker, Colorado gets the lead off at bat. Is now Jayla Stafford comes to the plate. Stafford, a freshman out of San Diego, California. And Stafford very close to that chalk as she will take a look at the first pitch. 1-0 the count. About 2.5 hours from here, where she's from, 2 to 2.5 hours. And she will swing and miss as the first baseman for Marissa Young and the Blue Devils. Here again, just since 2018 have they had a program. 2 ACC titles, 5 NCAA tournament appearances as the count's now 1-2 on that offering. 3 super regional appearances and 2 years ago made the Women's College World Series. So she has built a force in Durham. Here's the 1-2 that's on the way from Peters, though. She's been a force thus far with 2 strikeouts. Fouled back and out of play. In her last outing, again earlier today, she went 2/3 of an inning against Oregon. Took in a loss as Stafford hits that one shallow, and that'll be caught by Vrazel for the first out of the inning as Mathis retreats back to first base. Jada Baker due up next. She went 3 2/3, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, struck out 3 against Northwestern. And she earned the victory in that one. 1 down. Baker swings and misses at the first pitch there. Baker, a .250 hitter, the third baseman out of Longwood, Florida's 4 RBIs to her credit on the year. 1 out and a runner on. Baker fouling that one off. 2 strikes. Went to the count as Peters looking for strikeout number 3. That one sails high. And that's going to allow KK Mathis to scoot over to second base on the wild pitch, if they call it that. Either way, 1 out and a 1-2 count finds Baker in a RBI situation now. See if they do call that a wild pitch. We're waiting for the official score. 1-2, fouled back as that's fisted off the inner half of the bat of Baker. I'm just going to say she advanced to second base. And Jada Baker, team captain for the third straight season, started 58 of the 59 games last year. 1-2. And they said she did not go, and that'll allow the runner to go over to third base as the count's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're going to say that was a wild pitch. This will be a pass ball. And Baker now sees the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So now a very dicey situation here as Texas A&M leads by 2. Texas A&M trying to keep that. And now they're about to find themselves in a bases runners at the corner situation as Deanna Jennings is due up next. The leadoff batter for Marissa Young and the Blue Devils, who are 6-3 in neutral site games this year. Payoff pitch from Peters, fouled back. And again, it was an at-bat like this that really turned the tide for Texas A&M as Edwards battled to a 10-pitch at-bat. That found a double down the right field line. Payoff. Ball 4. Runners at the corners for the Blue Devils as Devil with the blue dress on. Now runners at the corners, and Deanna Jennings is DJ. I was conversing with the SID for Duke, trying to get the lineup, and she sent me a picture of the lineup, and it had a bunch of nicknames. I quickly figured them out once they had the numbers, but she was very graceful in telling me who was who. But she's in a DJ situation where she can turn the tide here. That one swung on and hit to the third base side and out of play for strike 1. 1 out and runners at the corners. As Sydney Peters, who looked dominant in that first inning despite allowing a run, looks vulnerable here as the corners are in for Texas A&M. See what Duke can do with this one. Innings will get set. Here's Peters. Swing and a miss. 0-2. In inning, Jennings, a .528 hitter after going 1 for 1 thus far. And with runners in scoring position this year, she's a .500 hitter. 0-2. Peters. Fouled out of play. Again, already, Duke is 1 of 5 with runners on and 1 of 4 with runners in scoring position. Both teams a combined 2 of 6. You're on this 50-degree night. As Peters on the 0-2. It sails high, 1-2 to Jennings. As the Aggies struck first with 3 runs in the first, Duke with a run in the bottom half. Duke shut down Texas A&M in the top of the second. They're trying to return the favor here in the bottom half. 1-2. Chopper should score a run as there's the throw over to first. No, it won't. Good job there by KK DeMint. She is out 6-3 over at first. Everybody stays put, 2 down. So now here's Amina Vega, who struck out looking her first time up. Baker did advance to second base. So now a base hit could score 2. And that one had all kinds of movement, hits the outside corner on Vega. That's what got her last time, 0-1 the count. As Sydney Peters trying to close the door on Duke here in the second. Peters will deliver. Foul, as that's out of play, 0-2, just where she wants it. In beautiful setting here. Premier softball tournament in the early season in the country. Right here on FloCollege. Here comes the 3-1. As the tally, not the count, as it's fouled out of play, 0-2 still. In Vega this year, she has not been the 2-out hitter we remember from last year. Again, it's early. Already, though, 12 RBIs to her credit. She's struck out 4 times now. 2 home runs, 2 triples. She'll lift that in the air. Down the left side and caught for the final out by Paisley Allen. And that was in foul territory either way. But they leave runners stranded. So no runs on 1 hit. And 2 runners stranded by the Blue Devils. 3-1 through 2. This is the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic from FloCollege. From grassroots to gold, USA Softball is where dreams begin, skills are sharpened, and futures are built. Visit usasoftball.com to learn how you can get involved in the future of softball. Are you a top 12U or 14U player? You can check out the usasoftball.com All-American Games tryout dates. Please do so. As Maya Perez will start things off for the Aggies of Texas A&M here in the top of the third, taking the first pitch from Cassidy Curd for a ball. So 5 hits thus far for Texas A&M. They've left 2 stranded while Duke has left 4. That misses a little low there, 2-0, as it'll be Perez, Edwards, and Wark due up for Texas A&M here in the top of the third. Trying to get revenge. 7-4 on the year. They're just 3-3 though in neutral site games this season. 2-0. She will take a hack there. Swing and a miss there. 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. That's in there. 2-2. 491 would be the number if Curd can get a strikeout here. As Perez and Texas A&M trying to get things started here in the third with a 3-1 lead. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Curd, her second of the night. That's 491 rather in her career. That's a big strikeout and against this very good lineup. Second K of the night. Edwards double last time she came up. It was her 4th double of the season as the senior. Battled at the plate against Curd last time. We'll see if Curd can work her magic here. She misses inside. 2-0 now. It was a full count and then 7 foul balls in that at bat. But it's a new day. As Edwards, she knew it. And big pitch there to even things up. 2 balls and 2 strikes as she, again, transferred from Oklahoma State. Started her collegiate career when most seniors are in high school. Was a freshman All-American. 2-2, just a bit high. And had a great career at Oklahoma State. Started her collegiate career at Oklahoma State with 10 hits in her first 11 games. She's certainly done that here as the payoff pitch sails way high. And so Edwards wins again, and a 1-out walk will be issued as Curd has just issued her 151st walk in her career. Not too bad considering she's got close to 500 strikeouts. And so with 1 out and 1 on, Wark is a RBI ground out that gives her 15 on the year. Has a runner on here, and that one just right down Main Street for strike number 1. And Curd, very rhythm-esque, so to speak. Takes a deep breath and will deliver. That one just missed as the count evens. Be interesting to see how many pitches both teams allow their pitchers to go, because Curd already has 62 thrown, and we're in the 3rd inning. Here's a 1-1. Double play ball here would be nice as that misses to Wark. And Wark, 15 RBIs to start the season. Two balls and 1 strike. Here comes Curd. Swing and a miss. This thing's even up at 2-2 on Wark. And Curd with 22 strikeouts this year. 23 would be huge. Here's Curd. She delivers. Did they go? She did not, and the count goes full once again. They're certainly making her work up there, because that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th 3-ball count. 3-ball count at bat that she has had here tonight. Here's the payoff again. Fouled out of play. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Curd. That one ripped down the right side. That's a fair ball. Yes, it is. It is gone. A little bit of a delay there, but it's a 2-run bomb by Wark, and it is 5-1. I saw the official down the first baseline put his arm out, and now Marissa Young is out to question it, as the home run hat has been put on. And again, Duke is questioning whether that's a home run or not. I saw the first base umpire put his arm out that was a fair ball. And now Marissa Young can't believe it, as that is a home run. So that is Wark's home run. That makes it 5-1. Her 7th of the season. Make that 8th. $17 RBIs. Here's KK DeMint, strike 1. Here's an RBI single her last time up. That's the 2nd home run by Texas A&M here in the frame. In this ball game, not the frame. Here's the 0-1. 1-1.
I mean, I've got the game cranked all the way up. Hold on just a minute.
And so, here comes the 1-1 from Cassidy Curd. And that one fisted right to the shortstop. Arena Jones for out number 2. So here goes Maddie Sawney to the plate.
Okay, so I've got the gain. We cranked the gain up before we started. Right now I'm not. The super gain's even higher.
As Sawney takes ball 1. Sawney 0 for 1 today. Rounded out over to first base her last time up. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. 5-1 the score here in the top of the third. 2 home runs. One by Ariel Kowalewski, and Michaela Warwick hit the other just a second ago. That one's high and in to put the count at 2-1 as Texas A&M lost 8-6 the last time these two teams met. But they have come to play here today. Here's Curd on the 2-1 to Sawney. That one hit hard. That one hit high. And that one is gone. Sawney with the home run, and it's now 6-1 Texas A&M as Sawney gets the home run, her second of the year, and the Aggies are hitting in this one. Sawney entered this one with 4 RBIs. As Texas A&M has plated 3 runs in this frame and lead it 6-1. And looks like we may have a new pitcher in the ball game. We're going to take a timeout, tell you who it is when we return. As Duke in trouble in this one is Texas A&M up 6-1 here on FloCollege. So top of the third inning, 2 outs. New pitcher in the ball game is Mallory Wheeler, a sophomore from Jensen Beach, Florida, transferred from Louisiana, the Ragin' Cajuns, a very good softball program in the Sun Belt. She pitched an inning against Elon, did record a strikeout, and that 13-1 win by the Blue Devils as she will face off against Paisley Allen, who will take ball 1. As Cassidy Curd's day is done, we'll get you her numbers as we continue on in this one. A little low pitch as Curd will be awarded 2 2/3, allowing 7 hits, 6 runs. They're all earned. 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Faced 16 batters in her appearance. Here's the 2-0 as Wheeler gets the called strike. In this last meeting between these two, Wheeler got the victory. As we take a look at her line for that one, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 strikeouts, and 3 walks. And nice job by her to get her second win of the year. And Paisley Allen finds herself even on the count at 2-2 after swinging and missing. That one is blown right by her. Here's Wheeler. That one lifted in the air to the right side. That one's foul. Definitely foul. And it'll be nothing but 2-2. And again, the first base umpire just stuck his hand out when that shot to right field happened, but for some reason, Duke thought it was foul. As again, 2-2 the count. And time called. I think a ball, or Kyrie Rodriguez had to call time for a second. And they get reset, and Mallory Wheeler will deliver the 2-2 with 2 down. And Duke with a big deficit here as that sails high for a ball at 3-2. I was wondering why the celebration took so long for Texas A&M on that home run. Payoff pitch from Wheeler. That's ball 4. So Paisley Allen struck out her last time up. She walks to start off this one. So Allen walks for the 3rd time this year as Mallory Wheeler records walk number 5 this year. That one hit to the gap, all the way to the wall. Jennings comes up throwing, and that'll be held to just a single, or a double rather, as Allen moves over to third. Vrazel gets the stand-up double. She's 2 for 2 today. And Frankie Vrazel and Texas A&M starting to pour it on here. Vrazel was hitting .348 before today. And that's her 2nd double of the year. And now they're threatening to add more. After that double, 2 on as they get to the top of the lineup to Kennedy Powell, who was due for a big hit here. She's 0 for 1 thus far. Correction, 0 for 2. As again, 8 hits today. They are 8 of 16 at the plate. As you're seeing, one of the top offenses in the country. When they get rolling, they get rolling. As the count's 0-2 now to Kennedy Powell. Powell this year a .286 hitter with 2 outs. But they have certainly put the ball in play today. 5 extra base hits. And they're hitting .400 with runners on. 3 for 5 today with 2 outs as the 0-2 pitch fouled off again. As they are really doing a good job. They had 8 hits last time against Duke. They already matched that here tonight. Had 5 earlier today against Oregon. Now, Lindsey Grine is a heck of a pitcher, too. Here's the 0-2. That one's lifted foul. Again, they've done a great job today of just fouling off pitches. I believe every batter has fouled off a pitch here tonight. Here's the 0-2. And I believe that fouled off and hit her foot as she fell kind of awkwardly. Hopefully she's okay, that being Kennedy Powell. She was asking for a little bit of a time to catch her breath. Oh, 0-2 the count. Here's Wheeler. 1-2. That one sails high. Fouled back. One ball, 2 strikes. Wheeler will deliver the pitch. 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Duke trying to get out of this one. Chopper over to the second baseman, Vega, and she'll make an easy 4-3 put out, but Texas A&M plates 3 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits. They leave 2 stranded, but They lead it 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the third. As you're watching the 2026 Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic right here on FloCollege. Texas A&M with a commanding 6-1 lead on the 14th ranked Blue Devils in this top 15 matchup. Game 4 here at Oakley Fenway Field. The Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic here at the Big League Dreams Complex. And the first offering from Sydney Peters to Tarina Jones, who's 0 for 1 tonight. This is for a ball. And Blue Devils leaving 4 runners stranded already in the first 2 at bats here tonight. 2 in the first and 2 in the second. They had runners at second and third and even at the corners with 1 out. And could not get their runs across as Jones even to the count at 1-1. And Jones transferred from Purdue to come to Duke. And misses. 2-1 now the count. And Jones, redshirted last year to injury at Purdue as she fouls off the 2-1. But as a junior, 51 of 52 games she appeared, started 50 games at shortstop, had 5 home runs on the year, was second in RBIs with 24, 8 doubles, recorded the first multi-home run game of her career and against Iowa to lead the Boilermakers to a 3-2 extra innings win. That's chopped foul. Great career. She comes to Duke from Lake Worth, Florida. There's the 2-2. And she nips that one foul. She played on the same club team as Layla Lamar. The Lady Dukes Lamar club team. And she's got a 2-2 count as Peters trying to get her third strikeout of this outing. And she will do just that. Absolute filth. First strikeout swinging tonight. Third of the night again. 77 on the year, 1 down here in the third. And so here comes Jessica Oakland to the plate. Oakland, RBI single. She will swing and miss. And her head went way out on that one, 0-1. And the filth that Sydney Peters is throwing here tonight, certainly very indicative of the ERA that she has put forth to start the season. And Peters with a 1.59 ERA in 22 innings entering play today. And she will make it 0-2 to Oakland. Oakland again out of San Jose. Two, lifted foul, 2-1, or 1-2. Again, 7 or 8 hours away is what, from here where I am, is where San Jose is. From here. 0-2 the count. Here's Peters, and there's another back-to-back strikeouts, just filthy. 4 strikeouts tonight for Peters, 2 down. And Texas A&M certainly trying to get revenge against the Blue Devils here tonight. And Sydney Peters is certainly on her way to do that for Texas A&M. 4 strikeouts in this one. Grounder over to the third baseman, Powell. Easy 5-3 put out. 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits. Nobody left on. We're through 3 complete. Texas A&M up 6-1. This is the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic from FloCollege. So Bonet is proud to partner with the Mary Nutter Classic. You can check out bonet.net for product pricing and create your perfect training system. You want to talk about perfect training? Well, Sydney Peters has certainly put on a decent performance, to say the least, as the Blue Devils trail this one 6-1, top of the 4th. As Texas A&M trying to end the day at 1-1. Again, 7-4 makes you think, okay, well, they're not good. Well, they've played a lot of good teams, and they've lost a lot of close games. As Mallory Wheeler will throw the first pitch to Ariel Kowalewski, who is 1 for 2 tonight. Home run and a pop out. She'll start the 4th off with a strike as Wheeler ahead, stays that way as it fouls off, and the foot of Kowalewski gets a piece of it there. And Mallory Wheeler thus far has thrown 17 pitches already. But did leave the runner stranded after the 6th run was plated by Texas A&M. Still 0-2 is another foul off. As the aggressive bats for Texas A&M. Wind blowing here. There's a little bit of a wind advisory. You can see the wind blowing the camera in center field. Here's the 0-2. And she got her. Good job there by Wheeler with the strikeout. That'll be her first of the night. And Wheeler gets the 3rd K for Duke today. And that'll be her 14th strikeout of the year. 1 down here in the 4th. Here comes Maya Perez. She struck out last time she was up as that breaking ball missed low. 1-0 to her. And the wind blowing kind of hard here at times here at the park. Probably cold for everybody. Is that one a little floater as Tarina Jones tried to get to it, but out of her reach. And that'll put Maya Perez on at first base on the base knock. And so the one-out single will put somebody on for Talon Edwards. And we'll see. They're going to call that an error. They're going to call that an E6 as it did hit off her glove. So that play a little more routine than it looked, and it looks like we may have a pinch runner here. And we'll let you know who that is when we see who that is. Ansley Gross as the first pitch in there on Talon Edwards is a strike. Ansley Gross is the pinch runner for Texas A&M. Grounder over towards the shortstop and misplayed by Ty Jones. And Edwards will reach. I think that's going to be another E6. Everybody's safe. As that one was bobbled, I think Ty Jones got ahead of herself, and that should be the second error of the inning. And Duke huddling up, calling time. Try to settle everybody down. And they're going to call that an E6 again. So 2 errors by the Blue Devils here in the frame as they're in trouble with 1 out and 2 runners on for Michaela Warwick, who hit a home run down the right side last time. That one sails outside. 1-0. Here's the problem, though, for Duke. They can't get any runs here, and Michaela Warwick hits another home run, and they can't get any runs in the next 2 frames. This one's over. That's in there for a called strike. As Duke's backs are against the wall, big time here, with 2 runners on, 1 out, and a hitter who is now 4 RBIs tonight. Rather 3. Here's the 1-1. A little low as the wind continues to blow here. 2-1 the count. And the wind blowing about 6 miles per hour right here, but they're saying it could get up to 15 to 30 miles per hour at times here as the count's 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Michaela Warwick, one of the newcomers that's had such an impact on this team. Ball 3. And I could see where wanting to face KK DeMint over Michaela Warwick and making the bases loaded here with 1 out. Certainly a more favorable situation than giving up a bad hit to Warwick. And Warwick fouls off the payoff there. As Duke trying to stave off this rally here by Texas A&M. Wheeler, Warwick, foul. Towards Pesky's pole down the right side. Wheeler getting set. And she will deliver. That one hit to the right side again. Off the glove of Layla Lamar. Can't come up with it, and a run will score. It's 7-1. Gross will score. Edwards will go to second base. And there's a meeting at home in the pitcher's circle. Not sure what this is about. Now there's the question, are they calling that I'm not sure what they're calling here. Marissa Young is upset about something. Are they counting for a second? Are they saying that Marissa Young or that Lamar caught that in right field? I don't know, they're counting. 7-1's the score. I think they're calling that an error. I'm not, again, still waiting for the official score there. As KK DeMint has come to the plate, it's still 7-1. And I think they're saying swing grounder, and Wheeler will throw it over. And I think they're saying that that was a catch. And on the exchange, so Wark is retired as KK DeMint is out on the 1-3 putout for the third out. Wark is retired on the F7, but Gross scores on the RBI sacrifice fly. Either way, one run is scored. It's not earned. They get no hits in the inning, 2 errors, and a runner who gets left stranded, and it's 7-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning here. Still waiting on the official scoring of that one. We'll let you have it and all that when we return on FloCollege. So, again, catching you up on everything, what was happening and what happened is Michaela Wark, they said that Layla Lamar caught it and dropped it on the exchange, so the out was recorded, and then Gross scored from second base, so it was an RBI sac fly for the Texas A&M Aggies. They do play to run as Kyrie Rodriguez is out to start off the frame on the easy play to start it off. So the infield does a good job there by Texas A&M. One down. As Rodriguez is retired, here's KK Mathis. And that's in there for a called strike as Mathis singled last time up. So Perez is back at the designated player after the pinch runner scored. Rodriguez now 0 for 2 on the night as Mathis 1 for 1. So 1-1 the count to Mathis. So one out, nobody on. Mathis with a 1-1. Drop ball there. Misses 2-1. So 5-3 put out. That's the second in a row, actually, as Lamar was out to end the third on a 5-3 put out. Mathis with a 2-1 count in her favor here as Peters looks to be cruising. Inside there, 3-1. Jayla Stafford is due up next for the Blue Devils, who are 3 of 13 at the plate here in this one. They're 1 of 7 with a runner on. 1 of 6 tonight with runners in scoring position. Not a recipe for success, but the one-out walk by Mathis puts the runner on as Peters, who's looked rather sharp thus far with just her 6th walk, make that her 8th walk of the season, 3rd of the night. So one out and a runner on for Jayla Stafford, who's flew out to center fielder last time up. And Stafford hits that over to the third baseman. We've got a 5, a 4, and a 3. Double play! And that'll get Texas A&M out of it as they keep the Blue Devils off the board for the 3rd straight, as the double play for the very good defensive Aggies gets them out of it. We're through 4, 7-1, Texas A&M ahead. Top 5, 7-1, Texas A&M. They're trying to find a way to make this a run rule game. I want to remind you that Oakley is all about recognizing the standout players who bring energy and excitement to softball. Our products are designed for those who respect the game's traditions while always looking ahead. Come see how Oakley is setting the standard in performance and style at Oakley.com. As Mallory Wheeler and the Blue Devils, Sowney starting things off 1 for 2. Fouls off the first pitch. 0-1 the count here. She's got a home run, her 2nd of the year last time up. PGF was founded in 2009 and today crowns the unquestioned national champions across 9 age divisions. Every year, just shy of 700 teams compete across those age groups with the 17-day event held across parks in Huntington Beach, Fountain Valley, and Irvine, California. Premier Girls Fast Pitch is where the best play in amateur fast pitch softball. Since 2009, thousands of female student athletes have realized their dreams as that one's lifted foul. Almost a dream home run by Sowney. Dreams to play on the college level by performing with top-level competition in front of college recruiters, and PGF produces hundreds of tournaments and showcases each year across the country, including the PGF High School All-American Game, which is unanimously considered the highest individual honor in youth fast pitch softball. Premier Girls Fast Pitch, the future of the game is here. Play PGF. And I'm promising you that most of these girls played in some PGF event at some point throughout their careers, as it's 2-2 to Maddie Sowney, who is the catcher tonight, who has done a phenomenal job working with Sydney Peters and the filthiness that she has brought to the game with a 7-1 lead against the Blue Devils. Top 5 is the inning. Sowney, that one's right to the second baseman, Amina Vega. Easy 4-3 put out, one down. Bunt attempt misses by Paisley Allen, who reached on a walk and was left stranded at third back in that third inning. She was the first batter that Mallory Wheeler faced. As Wheeler 0-1 here. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Frankie Vrazel is due up next for Tricia Ford in the Aggies of Texas A&M. A little low there. And Ford, 16-year coaching veteran. A little low there. I made a mistake earlier. I said Tricia Ford came from Cal State Fullerton. She came from St. Mary's previously. Fresno State and Arizona State. But Mallory Wheeler gets a strikeout here on Paisley Allen. That's her second of the night, 15 on the year for her. My apologies there. She was at Arizona State from 2017 to 2022. And that one a little low there to Frankie Vrazel, 1-0. He played at St. Mary's. I was confusing her for someone else, so my apologies. Here's the 1-1. That one's chopped right to the glove of Jayla Stafford. And they get an easy 3-up, 3-down here in the fifth. And it couldn't have come at a better time, as Duke will have a chance here in the bottom half of the frame to get back in this one. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base for the Aggies. Going to the bottom of the fifth, Duke in a big hole, 7-1 on FloCollege. Be right back. Gotta pee. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. Duke trailing this one 7-1 as we're getting back to it. Chris Hooks here, certainly thanking you for tuning in to the 2026 Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic as Duke finds itself in a 6-run hole. We have 9, 1, and 2 due up here in this frame. As Jada Baker, the captain of the team, certainly someone you can look to get back in it and get them rolling here. And again, Sydney Peters has just looked so sharp here early on. You got to know they were disappointed with the loss to Duke last week, and they want to right the ship here. Another swing and a miss there. As the count's 1-2 now on Jada Baker, who walked her last time up. Peters delivers. That's fouled back. That one hit hard, hit high, hit deep. And Jada Baker, that one's out of here. No question about that one, as Jada Baker and the Blue Devils finally get on the board after 3 straight innings of being shut down. And it's now 7-2 here in the bottom of the fifth inning as Baker puts the Blue Devils back on the board. Absolutely crushed by Baker. As Baker, that's her first home run of the season. Could not have come at a better time. So 5 RBIs for her as Baker leads off the frame with the home run. It's a called strike as we're at the top of the lineup for the Blue Devils. Again, Baker with that home run. Made that her 13th career home run. And lucky number 13 is Deanna Jennings. The Houston, Louisville, Texas product. Get this offense cranked up after that home run. And that one's hit hard to the left side, but easily caught by Paisley Allen for out number 1. As Jennings now 1 of 3 at the plate here tonight, as Amina Vega 0 for 2 now. She's trying to get her first hit of this ball game, hitting a decent 500 this year. 18 of 36 at the plate, 12 RBIs. Walked 7 times, 4 doubles, 50 career doubles as she fouls that one down the left side. Oh and 1. Again, first team All-American in 2024. D1 softball All-American first team 2024. And she will take a look at that. Career .394 hitter before tonight. Again, 50 doubles, 7 triples, 38 career home runs. Could this be 39? Be nice for Duke. And that'll be an excuse me swing down the first base line. And Wark makes the play, 2 down. Unfortunately there, as Duke Down to its last out here in the 5th after a leadoff home run by Jada Baker. Fouled out of play. Ty Jones, the graduate from Purdue, 0 for 2 tonight with 2 strikeouts. 2 of the 4 strikeouts that Peters has recorded, all right here. 0-1. Make that 0-2. That's the second time tonight she's gotten an 0-2 count against Ty Jones. And Jones hitting .417 on the year. And that was just, those 2 strikeouts tonight are just her second and third strikeout of the year. So chalk it up to just a bad night thus far in what has been a great start of the year. .417 hitter. 1 and 2 is that one just a bit high as Maddie Sowney. Here's the 1-2. Fouled, but stays in play. That one bounces in, as you could see, as the count's 2-2. Two. Peters looking for strikeout number 5. Gets it, but it gets past the catcher. Here's the throw down. And they got her. Or did they? No, they did not. She is safe at first. So 2 down. Ty Jones reaches. Jessica Oakland now with 2 outs and a runner on as the inning stays alive. So 5 strikeouts tonight, but again, 0-1 to Oakland. So Oakland, the left fielder, RBI single in the first. That was the only run plated thus far. Pass ball on the drop third strike. One and 1. Hard hit. That's going to fall in for a base hit. So, inning stays alive. So 2 runners on for the Blue Devils. Layla Lamar now to the plate. Coach Young's daughter. And it looks like we may have a pinch runner here. And it looks like Oakland is a pinch runner. Looks like that's, I thought I saw a 26. So I think that's Adeline Matthews. Peters misses to Layla Lamar. This is 1-0. We went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs in the last meeting between these two, but she is 0 for 1 tonight with a walk. And she tried to crush that one, and it blew right by her as the count will even up. One. 1-2. Ground ball. Good job there by Texas A&M as it was over to second. Edwards had no problem, and they keep the Blue Devils at bay. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 runners left on for the Blue Devils. They break a 3-inning drought. We're through 5, 7-2. Texas A&M leads it as we come down the stretch here on FloCollege. Have provided guaranteed college coach exposure, giving teams and student athletes a direct path to be seen through elite competition and on-field instruction. Visit www.usapreps.com to see the full 2026 event schedule. Chris Hooks here, flying in the solo chair here tonight at Fenway Field, presented by Oakley, as we're in the 2026 Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic Top 20 matchup, top 15 matchup to be exact. Texas A&M handling things right now, leading 7-2 as Kennedy Powell will lead things off for the Aggies. As new pitcher in for the Blue Devils, Larissa Jaquez. We'll get you her lines as it's fouled. Mallory Wheeler's day is done. As Jaquez off her glove, uses her glove and scoops it over to first for the out. Nice play by Jaquez. What a play. Certainly could be a top 10 nominee on any channel. As Jaquez, the transfer from Incarnate Word, getting the opportunity to pitch, does a nice job here. And she's 0-1 on the year. It's thrown 13 in the third innings thus far. And she will throw a first pitch strike. And she gets the 1-3 put out with an exclamation point. One down as Ariel Kowalewski is behind at 0-1. She struck out her last time up. And she will be down 0-2 in the count here as Jaquez drills that one in there. She has a 4.73 ERA this year, 9 earned runs allowed, 9 strikeouts, 8 walks, allowed 2 doubles and 2 home runs. And she will allow a foul ball on the 4th at bat of the night for Kowalewski, who is 1 for 3 with a home run and a strikeout. 7-2 Texas A&M, top 6, 2 innings to go in this one, so we think. But if Texas A&M jumps out here, that could end quickly. But Duke certainly putting up a fight here. Down 7-2, 1 ball and 2 strikes here. I can't imagine we don't go the full 7 in this one. As, again, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jaquez looking for strikeout number 10. Fouled. As Jaquez, again, the junior, transferred from Incarnate Word. From Eagle Pass, Texas, made 28 appearances, was all Southland Conference last year in her 18 starts. Had 151 strikeouts last season. Here's a slow roller over to the shortstop. Jones throws it over to first. Not in time. So Perez coming to the plate. Looks like we have a pinch runner here. As the single to shortstop. Kowalewski. Haley Golden is the young lady taking her spot. A junior out of Pearland, Texas. Perez, high, deep, that one's gone! Maya Perez says, see you later. 9-2, Texas A&M in charge of this one. As that is the 4th home run of the night for the Aggies. That was a short-lived pinch running adventure for Golden. As Perez hits the bomb, and it's 9-2. They score 1 more and get a stop. We will end this one early. Certainly don't want that, as Perez just recorded her 4th home run of the year. 15 RBIs for her just this season alone, and it's 9-2. She smoked that one big time. And here comes Edwards, who's reached base twice, scored twice. Reached on an error by the shortstop in the 4th and was left stranded at second base. Thought about swinging there. Jaquez, nice pitch on the changeup. That one's a single right up the gut. And Edwards with her second hit of the night has a golden opportunity with one out for Wark, who has one of the 4 home runs by the Aggies, who came in with 16 on the year. They're at 21 now. Jaquez. That's a first pitch strike to Wark. Wark has seen a lot of pitches tonight. You look at her at bats, where she grounded, hit an RBI out at first base. She got a hold of that one. That is up, that is high, and just short. Caught, or was it? And it was. Good play there by Deanna Jennings as the wind kind of blew that one back in. 2 down now. My apologies there as KK DeMint comes up, as that could have been disastrous. Again, the wind howling here as the pitch. That one will go past the backstop Kyrie Rodriguez on the pass ball. And now DeMint is ahead of this count at 1-0. Edwards is over at second base. And we might have a pinch runner for Edwards, as people are dropping notes everywhere. And I think, again, the wind blowing is why that ball did not go out of the park. And the wind is blowing in, as you can see the netting. And so there is a pinch runner here. That'll be Scout Lovell. For Edwards, as the count's 1-1. And Lovell out of Lovelady, Texas. 2-1 now to DeMint. As they're trying to get one more run here. They get one more run and a stop. Ball game over. Jaquez, the wind blowing in. You can see the trash across the field. Swing and a miss as DeMint took a good swing at that one. 2-2. And this is the first time in the years that I've called this event that I've been here that the wind has been blowing in so hard. 2-2 pitch from Jaquez. DeMint fouls it off. 9-2, Duke trailing in this one. And that's nit foul. Two balls and 2 strikes. That one just a bit high on the changeup. Two the count. Wind blowing in. Huge Jaquez strikeout. And she gets her 10th K of the year, but 2 runs played again for the Aggies, and they lead this one. Bottom 6, Duke in a big hole here because Texas A&M has been playing solid all night. Sydney Peters, sharp, 5 innings thus far, 5 hits, only 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. Bottom of the 6th, Duke has a lot of work to do. As Kyrie Rodriguez and the Blue Devils as Mallory Wheeler had her door shut on her performance tonight. She finished with 2 1/3. 1 hit, 1 run. It was not earned. A walk and 2 strikeouts. 11 batters faced. And Larissa Jaquez is now the pitcher of record in, at least at this point, in regards to she's the one pitching. But either way, Sydney Peters, 96 pitches, faces Kyrie Rodriguez. And Rodriguez 0 for 2 tonight, starting the season 6 for 31. And she's hitting 182 this year as the leadoff. She's ahead of this count at 1-0. Only 4 strikeouts in those 31 at-bats, though. That tells you she is not far from getting things on track. Here's the 1-0. Checks her swing. She went. And that'll even things up at a ball and a strike. No changes just yet. Of note in the defensive alignment for, looks like KK Mathis is now the defender. Here's a high fly ball, left center field. Kyrie Rodriguez says see you later. Her 2nd home run of the year. And the Blue Devils will not go quietly as they've cut the deficit to 6. That's her first RBI of the year as Duke leads off the 6th with the home run. As we're in the bottom of the 6th. Here's KK Mathis. The designated player. Kelsey Mathis is the right fielder now, as that's a shallow fly ball, easily played. So 1 down. And the sophomore out of Waco, Texas. No relation to KK. As KK Mathis is from Parker, Colorado. So with 1 out, time is called as Texas A&M talking things over. And that's now 101 pitches thrown as Mathis is retired on the pop out over to shortstop. So one down here in the 6th as Jayla Stafford is at the plate for the Blue Devils. Peters delivers. Nice movement there, just a little bit low and away. 1-0. 11 hits for Texas A&M, 6 for the Blue Devils. Both have left 6 runners stranded in this one. A little inside on Stafford, 2-0. So Duke, of their 3 runs, 2 have been home runs. Swing and a miss there, 2-1. Peters, foul to the first base side, and she made the catch. So Stafford retired on the foul ball over to first base, 2 down. One lifted straight in the air as Jada Baker pops that one in foul territory. And the solo shot is all they could do in that one. No run, or 1 run on 1 hit. Nobody left stranded. We're through 6. Duke trails 9-3. 1 more inning to go. Texas A&M ahead here in the first day of the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. Top 7, as you can see, foul balls flying all over the place. And you hear the wind howling here. Chris Hook's flying solo here as Duke down by 6. They got to keep the Aggies off the board here in this frame and put together a run in the 7th. As the first pitch of the inning to Sowney, fly ball. And Wynn caught it, but Amina Vega's able to come in and make the play for out number 1. Again, the next game coming up after this one will be Rutgers and Cal State Fullerton. And looks like we may have a pinch hitter here. And that will be number 22, Grayson Coleman, coming in for Paisley Allen. At least a pinch hit for all we know. Here in the 7th, Coleman, the Hanford, California senior, That'll be a first pitch called strike. And Coleman. Just played in 82 games in her career at Texas A&M. 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. Did that in her freshman season. That's in there for a called strike. So 1-2 to Coleman. That one just a bit outside. 2-2. Jaquez wanted that one bad as the count runs full. On this cool night here, the first day of the Mary Nutter. It'll be ball 4 as Coleman reaches on the walk with 1 out.
Windy out here, bruh. I know, so I'll fall. Let me get some like weights.
So Frankie Vrazel is the one due up. We may have a pinch runner, or Paisley may be coming back in to run. Not quite sure. Comes the offering. There's the runner trying to steal. Safe as Allen is back to pinch run. And she'll get the stolen base. She's 2 for 2 this year. And Marissa Young is upset about something. So 0-1 the count as Vrazel, I don't think I've ever seen Coach Young so frustrated or so animated. Two and 0. Jaquez, runner on at second. That one's fouled down the first base line, 2-1. Duke just frustrated with their game tonight. Low and away there. 3-1. Here's the 3-1 from Jaquez. That's down the line, foul. One out, 3 balls and 2 strikes as Texas A&M trying to add to this 9-3 lead. It's lifted straight in the air as Ty Jones catches the pop-up, 2 down. And Kennedy Powell now will come to the plate with 2 down here in the top of the 7th, with Duke having a lot of work to do. They got to keep them off the board here to keep that a fact. And a beautiful pitch there. That one drops in for a strike on Powell, who even shakes her head, agreeing with that. 0-1. So 1-1's the count to Powell. Fly ball. That's out of play. Again, Jaquez cold enough where she has to put her hand in her pocket, as you just saw. That's Kennedy Powell 0 for 4 tonight. That's 2-2 now. Fly out, fielder's choice, ground out, and a ground out. A great play by Jaquez to flip it over to first. Last time Powell was up, 2-2. 2 outs. That's fouled. Jaquez. 2-2. Rounder. Fielded cleanly. Not in time. As Powell gets her first hit of the night. As Allen moves over to third, Powell was now 1 for 5. And they've got runners at the corners and 2 outs for, looks like Ariel Kowalewski is back in to hit. I believe that's 47. So Ariel Kowalewski back in. She had a home run in the first inning. She's 2 for 4 tonight. One 1-0. Singleton scored back in the 6th. And that home run by the right fielder, 3rd of the year. That was just the beginning of the domination that has been tonight. 1-1 now the count, as that's in there for a called strike. Everybody but Paisley Allen in the lineup now has a hit tonight. Not trying to single her out. Allen has gotten on base with 2 walks already. To her credit, 1 walk. And there's the throw down, and it gets away. 1 run will score. And so Allen scores as Powell will advance on the error. She'll get the stolen base and the E2. And it's 10-3. So 1-2 the count. Kowalewski crushed down the right field line fair. Here comes 1. Kowalewski to second. It's 11-3. Have a night, Kowalewski. Kowalewski with the RBI double. Her Her 5th RBI of the season. And Texas A&M showing why they're a top 25 team, hitting 14th coming in batting average. And that's going to be a double for Kowalewski. 4th double of the year. 0-1 to Maya Perez, who homered her last time up. 15 RBIs for her this year. Perez, 0-2. High. 1-2 now the count. Perez fouls that one off. One ball and 2 strikes for Perez. That one's hit high, but foul, and that'll be out of play. Perez hit one high and out and deep last time she was up, as Duke has now committed 3 errors today. Texas A&M, 3 in the first, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the sixth, now 2 in the seventh. Pitch in the dirt. Now 2-2 to Perez, as again, Texas A&M is relentless, trying to get win number 8 on the year and to finish the day 1-1. Head back to the hotel, get some dinner, and call it a night. Be back at it tomorrow. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one's fouled off again. So aggressive. I wish there was I'm sure there is inside the scoring apparatus that the SIDs use, but I'd love to see how many foul balls the Texas A&M bats have hit today. There's no necessarily stat for that, but either way, 2-2. Full count. As Jaquez trying her best to get out of this one with as little damage as possible, but again, these bats, as Matthews is the new right fielder or left fielder for Duke. Ball 4. Sorry I didn't get to that sooner, but she was replacing Oakland. And so Perez reaches via the walk. Runners are at first and second, 2 outs for Talon Edwards. Edwards 2 for 3 tonight. 2 runs scored, a double and a walk. Jaquez. She went, strike 1. Texas A&M trying to exact that revenge, missing 1-1. And then you look at their schedule this year. They've played some ridiculously tough competition. Number 1, Texas Tech. Number 23, Oklahoma State. 19th ranked Duke. Ground ball right to Jaquez, and that'll do it. but the damage is done. 2 runs on 1, 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 runners left on. To the bottom of the 7th we go. Duke needs 8 to tie, 9 to win here in this one. This is the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic right here on FloCollege. Bottom of the 7th inning, Blue Devils have a lot of work to do in this one. 8 runs to tie, 9 to win. Sydney Peters going for her 3rd complete game of her career at Texas A&M. In her 3rd season, she's thrown over 60 innings if you count what she's done today, but only 2 complete games in 19 previous appearances. She is 10-0 entering today. She did not get the loss. As they lost 2-1 to Oregon earlier today. Here's a slapper. Down the left side, in for a base hit for Deanna Jennings, who tries for 2. She is safe. And the Blue Devils not backing down from a challenge as Jennings gets her 2nd hit of the night. And that double for Jennings, that's her 2nd of the year. As Jennings, the senior, and she might be lifted here. That's her now 16th double. And new runner in the ball game will be Aaliyah Terrell, the transfer from Boston College. And now Amina Vega. 0 for 3 tonight, due for a hit here. Peters misses outside, 1-0. She's got 8 runs to work with here, so I'm sure they'll probably give her a lot of leash here. Vega, 486 hitter this year. Can add to her numbers career-wise as that pitch is in the dirt. Nice job there by Sowney. As Kowalewski is back in right field now. Duke with just 7 hits thus far, 3 errors. They've left 6 runners on base. As Vega fouls off the 2-0. And the count's in her favor. Two balls, one strike as the wind blows in. Ground ball. That gets through for a base knock. Here's their runner coming in to score, and it's 11-4. Vega, first hit, big hit, and the Blue Devils are not dead yet. So Vega gets the double, which would be her 51st career double. And looks like we may have a change here, as Vega just recorded her 167th RBI on that double. And it looks like we do have a new pitcher in the ball game. And it'll be number 78, Taylor Pennell, the transfer from Missouri. And she has pitched plenty of times out here in the Mary Nutter Classic. She's from Lee Summit, Missouri, transferred from Mizzou. She's pitched 8 2/3 innings thus far in 5 appearances, allowed 9 hits, 6 runs. She's only been credited with 1 loss thus far. She does have a save, and that was in a 6-5 win over Northwestern. Again, 9 strikeouts and only 3 walks thus far. She will step on the rubber here to try to get the final outs of this one as Pennell, the new pitcher. And her first pitch is in there for a called strike. As Ty Jones is the hitter. She's ahead now at 0-2. Jones has struck out twice tonight as Pennell looking to get the final strike here. That's tipped foul. She leads the NCAA Division I level as the current career saves leader with 24. Struck out 69 batters last year. Ground ball. That's down the third base side, but not able as Ty Jones is safe. I think they might call that a fielder's choice or maybe even an infield hit. And we'll see what they call either way. Jessica Oakland returns back in to hit here. As runners are on first and second. Just 1 out. Actually, no outs. That one's hit deep towards right field. And that ball will get away, and that will allow a run to score. So, Jessica Oakland gets the F9 RBI sack fly. Actually, I think it might just be a F9, and then they advance on the error as Vega scores to make it 11-5. As Ty Jones stays at second. That one hit, just drilled foul to the right side. And that might be an E5. We'll see what they score it. As we're waiting for the official score. Either way, 2 runs have plated for the Blue Devils. And they have no outs. Now 1 out on the board, rather. As Oakland will get the fly ball out. No RBI will be rewarded here. So 1 down. That's in there for a called strike on Layla Lamar as it's now 1-2. So she walked in the first, grounded out for the final out of the third, was the final out in the fifth. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2-2 now as Lamar, coach's daughter, sees the count even at 2-2. Vega scoring for the 19th time this year. Hard hit. That's a base knock. And everybody's happy and safe. Runners at the corners as Ty Jones moves to third. Lamar with the single. And so Kyrie Rodriguez, who got her first RBI of the year, first home run of the year. Rather, her 5th RBI of the year, excuse me. It was her 2nd home run. First RBI of the game, so to speak. So they're going to call an E9 on the throwing error. They called Kowalski on the throwing error. Either way, 1 out, runners at the corners. And that one's foul. Down the line is Rodriguez, down 0-2. Tell you what, this Blue Devil team not going away. They've already plated 2 runs. They need 6 more. They only got 1 out, though. Imagine if they hit a home run here. Rodriguez already has a home run today. Home run to make it 11-8. That'd make things really interesting. As Rodriguez fouls that to the left side as it lifts out of play. Oh, 2. 1-2. Pinnell missing high. As Texas A&M playing with their food a little bit here. As Pinnell. Wind blowing. That's lifted in the air. Not going to be enough. Caught in center field. They're going to let the run. No, the run does not score as Frazel makes the catch. 2 down. And it was not deep enough, and they held her off. KK Mathis due up to the plate. We'll see if she hits, and that will be the case. She will. So 2 down. Final out of the ball game here is the wind blowing across the field as Mathis, that's a high fly ball, but it's not going to have enough on it, and Texas A&M exacts revenge as 2 runs do score. 2 runs on 4 hits and 2 runners left on, but that'll do it. Final score in this one as Texas A&M wins it by the tally of 11-5, a combined 23 hits, 5 errors, And 16 runners left on base as Sidney Peters will get the win as the Aggies go to 8-4 on the year. Duke drops to 9-3. That'll do it for the fourth of the 5 games here at Fenway. On behalf of our entire Flow Sports production team, this is Chris Hooks. This has been a presentation of just softball and Flow Sports from Cathedral City, California. Stay tuned for more softball action starting in about 30 minutes for a matchup between Rutgers and Cal State Fullerton. For more of this great tournament, more softball, tune in to Flow Sports for games all across the Big League Dreams field, including Yankee, Fenway, Des Moines, and Pawtucket. Final score, Texas A&M wins it by the final tally of 11-5, and you saw it all right here on Flow Sports. Good night, everybody.